Hey, Don here. Okay. Well, it says I'm live. Um, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, I was watching my stream over there on the laptop, waiting for it to. There it comes. Okay, so I don't know. It was so far behind that I was. That's behind from what I'm saying right now. So that's okay though. But it says I'm live and stream health was good, and it was 17 seconds. So I thought, well, I better go ahead and switch. Sometimes that doesn't. I guess sometimes it's further behind than you expect it to be or something. But I went ahead and paused that. I just want it to be where I can tell, see that everything's okay. And if somebody tries to chat, then I'll know that. So, okay, so here I am back again doing another screencast. And, well, not just a screencast, of course, a live video with three little phone cameras up over here. And so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to um, let's see. Well, I'm holding this up because I was getting ready to use it, my handheld camera, but got myself confused here. Okay, well, I set up something new, and I added Cam 2. That's the one I'm aiming. I'm always aiming at the laptop and my desktop. So when I switch around on my desktop, you'll see those two. Sometimes, or several times during these last several videos, I thought, it'd be kind of cool if I could do that. And I didn't have it set up, so I thought, well, I'm going to set that up. And looking at my Yeah, no, it does that a lot, up 27%, but it's only 380 megabyte of memory. So as long as it doesn't get above that, should be all right. And I guess it's higher because I'm using two scenes like that. I bet it'll drop down when I go back to, like if I just go back to that one scene, yeah, well, it went up. Huh. Well, I hope it's going to be all right. I might have to take off that extra stream if I'm going to have to watch that. It could be too much. If it keeps using up too much processor, then I won't be able to do what I want to do, especially since um, I wanted to run a VirtualBox during this video. I didn't think of well, I thought about it, but I thought, well, it'll be all right. And there's just both 1 and 2. Of course, I haven't been just setting and I haven't been monitoring my. I keep forgetting what I'm showing too. I'm showing different. I'm not even showing what I'm talking about, but I'm talking about in my screen. I put it on just screencast side. Okay, see it's 50%, then it's 30%, now it's 21. Yeah, when I use the cameras, it's using more processing power than anything. So let's go to my new one, Cam 2 and desktop. Let's see. Yeah, it jumps right up to 52%, then it jumps back down. Okay. I think it's going to be all right. Well, I didn't depend. I did a test, and I thought everything was okay, and of course, then you start really doing it, and it's a different story. Okay, so I'm gonna get my handheld here. So this is what I got. Since I'm talking about it, got the laptop over there with the camera aimed at it, and then the other camera is the one that goes just at me. And here's my desktop. That's the wireless keyboard I use. That's my TRS-80 that I haven't played with in a long time. About to get too far from the mic. My V amp that I use for my mic preamp and compressor and noise gate. And right up here, I have something I need. By the way, look at that. The little truck was given to me for being good, giving blood at the doctor's one time, and they had it for kids, but I liked it. And the lady said, "Well, you can have one." And the little plastic robot, he's loading the truck or beating it up, doing something. I got that from element14.com. They sent me an Adreno for it was actually way like in January or February, but they had done a deal during Christmas and what was the deal? I don't know. Maybe they were late in getting it done or something. But anyway, it was supposed to, I think they were going to try to do it in Christmas and they didn't get it done until January, February or something. But they just said everybody write a story about what got you into electronics and everything, and we'll pick some people to send these out to, as a appreciation present, whatever. And so and that came with it. It's a little plastic wind-up robot. We used to have those We used to have little metal. We had plastic ones, but there was some little metal ones in the '60s when I was growing up. I don't think yeah, I did have one. I think I took it apart, tore it up. But anyway, I need to get him off there, and I don't think I can wind him up and hold his camera. I was sitting thinking, well, I could talk about him walking it. Haven't showed him. Got to show him. There, he fell over. I can wind him up that way. He doesn't. Let's see if he can walk. Yeah, see, he's just dancing. All right, let's see if he can walk on here. He already ran out of juice. I'll put him down there and wind him up. He don't like it, but oh well. Okay, so yeah, it's not walking at all. I don't know if I see he got a drum on the front of him, and I thought, well, he needs some drumsticks. So I cut the Q-tips in half, cut a Q-tip in half, and gave him some drumsticks. Okay, I put my truck down here. It's kind of dirty, needs a wash, but the dust is so bad in here. Okay, I think the carpet cleaned him up pretty good. That's a pretty good little. It's like, I guess you'd call it a Matchbox truck. Real good replica of around a '55 Chevy truck, some '55, '56. I really haven't been into old cars and trucks pretty much ever since I was a little kid. I had a '54 Chevy for about 10 years or 15 years. I drive. One of my main vehicles is a '76 Chevy Blazer 4x4, and I have an '83 Dodge van that was given to me by my uncle. That I need to work on all of them, actually. Okay, so what I'm getting out here, I'm always talking about it, but I never show it. This is not the actual SD card, but this is the one. I have 3 of them actually. The one that my 32 gig is this brand right here, Wintech, and it's been good. They've all been good. And it just came with a regular full-size SD card adapter. That's what these are and why I'm hanging on to them. These other ones, the Strontium Nitros, came with a regular SD card and a USB adapter. Oh, and that's my wireless mini keyboard thing. It's pretty cool, but I can't type on it. It's pretty handy if you just want to watch TV or something. So, I hope you been able to hear me okay. So in here is where that Wintech is, and let's see, I don't have any other camera close enough to, so I'll just have to kind of make do. Okay, so that comes out so easily that it actually fell out. I knew I had forgotten, but it's not actually, this is what it goes with, and it's actually quite a bit looser than the Strontium brands in the adapter. Here's the adapter all by itself. So I had stuck it in my computer, and I was like, well, where is it? It didn't show up. And I thought, well, I better check, and I did, and there wasn't no SD card in there. So I'm going to see if this one's any tighter. It's been in that other one for quite a long time. So that's what they look like. Let me see if I can get it in there. Oh, this one must have. Did it come apart or something? It looks like it has tape on it or something. It does have tape on it. Where's that? I don't know if that came. Maybe it came. It was on there from the the manufacturer or something. It hurts my arm to hold that up like that. I want to get in a different place. Get over here. Even though that my desk is so worn out and ugly, it's pitiful. But I was killing my arm. Okay, so. You put it in there, if I can find it. You put it in there with the metal side down. I don't know if I can get a finger on it or, yeah, let's see. If I can do all that or not, I'll try. I'm looking at the camera screen because it's right in my way where I can't see. I mean, I know it's not really, it's not worth the trouble, is it? Okay. Because I can't do it. Let's see. One more try. I guess I just need to do it. Oh, here we go. This is how you do stuff like that. Use both hands. Okay, so Yeah, it's not any tighter. I'm going to leave it in this one anyway. You know what? I just remembered. I think I know why that tape's on there. Because that one quit reading right. I thought the card was going bad, and it turned out it was that adapter. That's what that tape is. I can't read what I've written on there, and I can't even actually see if there's anything written on there. Oops, it's going to fall off of there. See if I can see it with a magnifying glass in the phone. But there's tape on there, but I don't think I can read the letters. Yeah, that's it. Because I was thinking that usually when there's tape on something, I put it on there for a reason. Okay. But I just grabbed some Scotch tape in a hurry, you know, and did that. And so I'm going to put that one in the bottom. So I'm stuck. I remember now. So I'm stuck with that one. Where's the SD card? I just got to be careful. I guess I could tape it in there. Maybe I should. I certainly don't want to lose it. So what would happen if it fell on the floor? You get rolled over by my chair, which you're looking at the arm of, very easily and get destroyed. Okay, so yeah, got some tape right here. I'll put a little on there, and I'll try not to get it on the sticker because I don't want to pull that off. I'm going to have to. Well, I'll put it up to there. Make sure it's in there good. I'll just leave it kind of like that so I can get a hold of it to pull it off of there. Okay. Maybe that'll fix me up. Okay, maybe put it in the machine. Okay, wasn't that fun? All right, now, well, I switched it to desktop, but I didn't get where I could see anything. But yeah, you get that video feedback that way. But if you go, and I didn't know this, and that's what threw me off. If I do it that way, then you don't get any video feedback. And I thought, well, that's wrong. I kept trying to fix it. So put my other camera back on the charger. I'll leave that IP webcam app that I use. I think I see this every time. It uses a lot of batteries, so I have to keep them plugged in. I can unplug it I can get I've gotten about 10. You could get about 10 or 15 minutes off a fully charged phone. So that was just a minute, 5 minutes or whatever. So yeah, there it is, mounted up, and used to have a nice little icon that looked just like that Seagate. That's a picture of that Seagate hard drive case. And that used to be a picture of the, you know what, maybe that doesn't show the icon because it's the wind. No, it used to show a nice little icon that looked like I think it looked like the Wintec or something, or at least the shape of it. But you know, like the icons used to just always be little drawing looking things, but it may be an animated type thing, but it looks like a picture of that, an actual photograph, you know, a digital photograph of the expansion drive. I thought that was cool. And this one used to have a cool icon, but it went away one day and it never came back. And I don't think that I deleted any files off of the drive. I mean, you know, I could have deleted the icon somehow by accident. But anyway, let's go look at it. And I'll go into it here. Yeah, I went to go into it and it was not there. Okay. I just want to make sure everything looks good. Oh, it doesn't look good when I'm not doing the screencast. I want to do screencast. Good. Okay, now my stream's still good, but I have it paused. Okay. Now, yeah, here's the files that are on it, and it has 2.7 gigabyte free. I have this folder with my files. I have some documents and downloads, applications I may use. I've talked about it in other videos, used them in other videos. And so in the ISO folder is where you put your ISO files. The Linux is where you put all your Linux live or install ISOs or whatever they are. And I've got in here BFO's bootfedora.org. That'll go to a server, and you can boot from there to live or an install of any the current Fedora operating systems. I think it still works. Sometimes it's really slow, and it takes like 10 or 20 minutes to load. You know, or not quite 20 minutes, probably 5 to 10 minutes. And then usually it works. It depends on how much RAM you got. If you got, with this 4 gig machine, it would probably do real good. I think it would do all right on the laptop, but with the 3 gig. But anyway, I think I tried once or twice to install, and it got errors and stuff just to see if it would work. It's actually slower than just, putting it on a USB stick and using it. But like this thing here, you could install from it if it would work right. There's another one I have on here that I have installed from Debian, and it did work. Let's see what it is here in a minute. Let's see. Oh, I've got Debian 8.7 i386. So I downloaded the 64-bit, but I haven't copied it over here yet, so I need to do that. So while I'm thinking about it, get it going right now, because I do have room. I've got almost 3 gigabytes, so it's over here on my because that's what I was going to get ready to boot up. I actually forgot that I hadn't done that yet. Oh, I should have left it like that. Newest on the top, and that'll be the one I want. Yep. And this is 8.8. It's a tiny bit newer version. And I was looking for Debian 9. I saw a video on it where a guy had it booted up in a virtual machine. But I didn't see it on the site, and I gave up. And then I thought, well, hey, I really do want to try that. So I'm going to go look for it here in a minute. DRBL is diskless remote bootable. You got to put it on its own router, and like you can have other machines on there with it, and they can boot up. It'll be a server, and they'll boot up from that. So they don't even have to have a hard drive. It's pretty cool, and so it's a lightweight XFCE version of Debian. I've actually got some machines that are made for that. I've got some WISC win terms. I got 2 of them. I'd like to set them up that way because they only have 512 megabyte of flash memory, IDE flash memory. They're little flash chips put on an IDE circuit board that has an IDE plug on it. I never knew they'd made anything like that till I got those. Got 3 of them, but one doesn't work. But anyway, and then Fedora Mate Compits, the ones I've been booting up, and I've got 20, 25, 26 on here. And what did I put on here that wouldn't boot up? Something. 26 booted up. Yeah, they booted up without any trouble. I think, what did I have trouble booting up on? Well, I put Fedora Jam on here, and there was 2 of them, and they wouldn't either one boot up. Wait, maybe, yeah, I booted up to Fedora 26 yesterday. Oh, that was in the virtual machine, but they won't boot up on here. Okay, now I remember. They booted up fine in the virtual machine. I did a video yesterday. Okay, so Parted Magic, that's always good for doing work. I've got the 486 and the 686 version, and you can do a lot of partitioning work and stuff with it, and some other stuff. Actually, now that Fedora has gparted on it, I don't usually have to use Parted Magic anymore because it comes on all the Fedora distros now, or ISOs now. So that's really the only main app. I mean, like if I want to do something like back up a whole hard drive, Parted Magic's great for that because it has several different good backup apps. Like if you're familiar with Norton Ghost, they've got one that's called something Ghost, and it says it or not Ghost or something like that. It says in it, this is not Ghost. Now I can't even think of the one that I like to use, the one that I've figured out how to use the easiest. But you can back up to another hard drive over the network, and over the network's how I usually do it. But anyway, so while that's copying, I think it's just now done. Okay, but I'm going to leave it just like that. Actually, I'll go to my downloads folder. Yeah, go to my downloads folder. Let's see. Yeah, because that's where I'll need to be to see if I'd find Debian 9. And when I started looking for it again a while ago, just make sure everything looks good. Okay. When I started looking for it again, I saw that on the website, Debian Pure Blends. I was looking through the links. I was like, well, what's that? And I didn't remember. I'm sure I've seen it before, but I don't use Debian all the time like I do Fedora. So Anyway, what it is like Fedora Spins. I've been talking about that a lot lately. Let's see. For groups of people with specific needs. Since I'm having trouble saying my words as it is, I'm not going to try to read aloud here too much. But these are released. Debbie Kim, chemist for chemists, games, edu, educational uses for schools, GIS, develop Debian into the best distribution for geographical information, Junior for children, Med. Wow, I didn't know that existed. Medical care and research. I tried out some free medical record software, and it was really looked good. It looked better to me than what you see in the doctor's office that they're using. That's expensive and proprietary. I've got it on this machine, I think. Let's see, you set up. You don't have to, but you can set up a. I think I have it on here. Maybe it's just not showing up. Wait. Yeah, free med forms. It's called free med forms, but it's not actually forms. Oh yeah, you got to log in. But anyway, I set it up and you have a server, and I could you could do your just for yourself. You could do your whole family's medical records on a server machine, any machine. It doesn't have to be a full-blown server like my web server, and you wouldn't want it to be on the internet, just on your local network. But you could set it up on one of your machines and then have everybody be able to log in and take care of their medical records. Or you could just put it on each machine separately and keep them private, if you want. But anyway, so that would be like a whole Debian distro just for that. I'm not telling what else in there. That's interesting. Multimedia, now that would be very interesting to me. And then science. I got to click on that multimedia and see if I can see what's in it. Well, like I said, I was thinking about trying out 9, but I kind of don't. I usually don't want to install, beta or alpha or beta software. I want to wait till it comes out because I don't want to deal with bugs and stuff. You get enough bugs in them when they're released. Sometimes, not always. Audio multimedia. Seems like it's mostly, let's see. Yeah, and audio and video. Okay, good. That would be cool. Real-time kernel. That used to be the big thing. You needed a real-time kernel to, and I think most all of them are real-time kernels now, but to work well with audio and video. Okay, it's got a 386 and an AMD 64 way. AMD 64. Okay. Well, where's the download? Is that it? No. A lot of times they don't say download, they say get on some of these sites. Not seeing where you maybe you don't download the ISO, maybe you just get a regular Debian and build it or something. Well, let me just go back over here. Maybe I'm missing it says meta packages. Okay, that's telling you what's in it. There's what's in it right there. Okay. Well, yeah, Debian has got a little bit different than like most any other website distro, Linux distro website. It makes it to me, it's not logical as to where you go to find the downloads. I mean, the link for the download should be right here on the page that's describing it, you know. And I may be going too fast and just missing it, but maybe these are it right here. I don't think so. Wait, maybe that is it. Backports. That was it did a search for me is what it did. Well, evidently I'm missing something here. Okay, I'm going to get off this page. I don't see what I'm looking for to do with it. And then there's upcoming pure blends. Accessibility, Astro for astrology. Astrology? Astronomers, I knew it was and it wasn't astrology. That's what I meant to say. Design, EasyGo. Oh, I guess native, whatever your language is, I guess. Freedom Box. Servers, okay. Okay. Ham radio. Oh, wow, cool is that? I think ham radio is the coolest thing, and I've never had one or anything, but I just think it's cool. I used to be a master control operator. I've always been into audio, video, and taking videos and pictures and stuff and everything. I started, when I was I had a reel-to-reel cassette recorder, realistic, of course, when I was 6, 8, 10 years old. One of the first cool things I ever got. And then I got a cassette when they came out. And I was always recording stuff and, doing all kinds of stuff. So, and anyway, I used to be a master control operator at a local TV station in Dallas, and a very small one, and you have to get a radio operator's license to do that. And so I have one. Let's see. So I could run my ham radio if I had one. That'd be legal. One for political, to provide application support needs of parliamentarians, politicians, and their staffers throughout the world. I think I've read a way older version of this page before, a long time ago. Released pure blends. Okay, so maybe that's where I'm missing. No, that's where I was. So how do you get it? I must just be missing it. Just like I'm missing the... No download word on that page. A lot of times they say, on the web main page they say get Debian. That's why I'm looking for get. Okay, so starting to get a bit aggravating. Okay. Okay, the page about getting Debian. Okay, now here's the... Okay. Pure blends. Okay. See, I've already looked all over this page, but I'll look again. This is where I got a 64-bit that I just not copied over to my... Actually, I got the live version instead of just... That's the... I think that's the net install, that one there, and then... Or maybe that's the regular install, and that's the live version that you can install from it, too. I like to try it out first and see if it's even going to run on the machine, because Debian can surprise you sometimes and just not even boot on them, some of the older machines especially. That's weird. I mean, it'll boot. The older Debian would boot on almost any old machine, but then in there in the middle with Pentium 3s and Pentium 4s, it got a little, one would work and one wouldn't, and so I don't know. I haven't tried it a lot as much on the Core 2s and all that and stuff, but because I usually just use Fedora. But since Fedora, you know, it's up to 25 now, and it used to run. Let's see, I guess I probably, with the Core 2s came out, I think I started with around 17, Fedora 17, and it ran good. And then, you know, each one's needs a little more RAM, you know, a little more processing power, and now we're up to 25. So that's why I'm looking at Debian really heavily, because I can, you know, I can overwhelm that Core 2 with that Fedora 25 pretty easily. It does fine, it does okay most of the time, but I can already see, and it'll play videos, but if I was watching, I haven't sat there and watched them for a couple hours yet at all, so, but I can tell from what I have watched, and using it to monitor my home, what's one of the most heaviest usage pages is, you know, my YouTube live stream admin page. That'll tells you right quick. Especially if I let it sit there and play, I could find out how long it would last. But I left it running yesterday for 3 hours with on my admin page, but it wasn't playing. It was just paused, and it didn't use up all the memory. I didn't have to. It didn't do it to get me in trouble. I didn't hear the fan running like crazy. And even if I just leave it like that on this quad core with 4 gig of RAM while I'm making, you know, using OBS Studio and doing everything else, it will just start climbing, and I'll have to close the web browser, or else I'm going to be in trouble, you know. So anyway, there's the larger complete installation. So yeah, I think that small, that's what they used to always call the net install. Well, it is. See, net inst net install ISO. It just has a very small basic ISO, which is good if you don't have a big USB stick or something, or if you want to use a CD. And I think this one might not fit on a. Oh yeah, they have CD and DVD size for this one. This one only would fit on a DVD, I'm sure. I think. Yeah, because it's a gig something. I just got to copy it on here, so. Yeah. That's weird. 1,000 megabytes. Well, that's less than a gig, though, isn't it? Okay. So, yeah, that's all I've been able to find. It's just those, and that's for Debian 8, the you know, one that's out right now. So, getting Debian, that's where I'm at. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. See if I can find, sometimes if I can't find it by looking around the website, then I'll do a Google search. See, there's Debian.org. That's probably right where I've been trying to find, and I just couldn't find it. Downloading. Do not download CD, DVD with your web browser the way you download other files. It absorbs the download aborts. Most browsers do not allow you to resume from a point. Oh yeah, that's true. So yeah, when you click on those links, you get a torrent to download it that way, which it works really good and it's really fast. Sometimes torrents used to be really slow, and they could sometimes, even though it was good software, it could get you end up with it could get infected along the way somewhere. So I used to didn't, but with Linux ISOs, I don't remember. If I haven't it's been only once in a long time ago. Got any trouble with the download torrent? You know, having any bad files or anything. Talking about using download managers and stuff. That'd be in Windows, you know. Okay. Still talking about the official images of stable releases. Okay. Yeah, here's a bunch of links. Multi-arch. I don't think they give the version numbers Yeah, see, they don't write the version numbers, so it makes it hard to figure out what the heck are you getting them. I just go by the name they call it. I think they're trying to make it easier, but it just makes it harder for me. I want to know the version numbers and stuff. There's all the servers. What I still want to say, official release, testing. Well, maybe testing would be domain 9. Let's see. Weekly build. 2016. I guess that's the last time the page was updated, not the build. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. AMD 64, misspell sort, multi-arch. MIPS. Oh, MIPS, that's that kind. I don't actually know. I've heard of it a lot, on and off over the years, but I don't exactly know what a MIPS machine is. Okay. Oh, ARM. Pay attention. You don't want ARM. I mean, unless I want to put it on a Raspberry Pi. CD, DVD, CD, BLD, DVD, DVD, DVD. BLD. I don't know what BLD is. It's all the same date. You could do, oh, that's a different way of downloading it. I don't know if I can even do that. Okay. What's BD? I think maybe somehow I just clicked on the link one time and it did work with my torrent app. I don't know what BD stands for though. Okay, DVD. I was thinking maybe BD was what they're using to say when it's for a USB stick. Yeah, this DVD image will work on a USB stick. This may be a pretty big image. It says fit on a standard 4GB USB. Maybe I don't have that much space left on my. I got it's a 32 gig, but I got a bunch of stuff on it. So what I really was, I don't guess I need to get that. I think Debian may have group installs too, like Fedora. You know, you could build up your system. I don't know though. Okay, Debian testing. ISO 1, 2, 3. All the same date, same time. I don't know why you'd have 3 different DVDs. Huh. Go back to BD again. Oh, I don't want JigDo though. Let's go to CD. I just didn't want to have to sit there and wait for it to download everything. That's why I didn't want the CD. It'll work with USBs too. Definitely smaller, see. Okay, Mac. AMD 64 and AMD 64 XFCE. Okay. And I imagine, yeah, Debian's default desktop is Mate, but I tried that out and it worked. So I like Mate better, so that's what I would want. I'm still going to right click. Well, let's just just click on it and it should come up with a little window asking me if I want to, yeah. And I'll scan it with VirusTotal now. Oh, this is going to be a CD. It's not going to be but it's small enough. I don't think I'll have any trouble downloading it. But I'm going to scan it, even though it comes from them. I'm still going to scan it with this VirusTotal. and we'll let it download. Oh, it's not downloading yet, is it? Let it finish scanning. Now I'll open the link, and it'll just do the same thing again. This time I'll save it. Oh, sorry. Well, as you might have guessed from the background noise, I had a little trouble with my nose. I had to make sure I wasn't on the camera. Okay, so it's almost, oh, it is done. Okay, so sometimes I'll save the link to that scan report so that I can look in there and see that, oh, I've already scanned that one. You know, I got to scan it again. Oh, let's see. I think I'll download the MD5 sums. I think I've probably already got them, but we'll do it. And if I do, then sometimes I scan those pages too. but okay, so let's put that on my backup drive and get it, so I won't be taking up space. Okay. Gonna hit copy this time. It's really safer to hit copy and then copy them over and then, yeah, okay. So I've already got that, so I'm gonna say skip this time. Actually, I could say rename. Then that'll probably make the checks go. Now I can delete it once it's done. Cancel. I'm pretty sure it's not the same file. Yeah, I mean, it is the same file. Okay, this is the same one. They've gotten to doing that. Used to have to download a different file for every ISO, different MD5 sum, but now they have it for, it's for all of their ISOs. Fedora's been doing that for, well, it was doing it in Fedora 23, I remember that. Okay, so now, since that's not very big, I can go ahead and put that on my EasytoBoot disk here. Domain net install AMD64. I still don't know. It says testing, so I don't know if it's going to be Debian 9 or if it's going to be Debian. I won't get to look at it though. I won't get to see what it looks like. But I imagine it will tell me. If it does, I know one thing. Debian 8 is called Jesse. So if it says whatever that other one is, then I'll know it's not the one I want. So there we go. That's plenty of that stuff. Okay, so I am interested in that. I'm very interested in the whatever that with a P starts with a P. Lost the page now. Don't remember where I was. Pure blends. I'm very interested in that. Thought I had that in my bookmarks, but I don't know how you get it. Oh, is that how you get it? Oh, well, multimedia doesn't have a downloads page. The others do. So let's go. Maybe you do just like I was saying. Maybe they'll tell you a group install. Well, I'm going to put that in there so it'll tell me. I mean, if you have to do it that way, then I don't see any command telling you how to do it by any commands though. Some group install command. So I don't know. I'll worry about that later. Don't want to keep worrying about it now. Oh, wait, I didn't put that in my. Oh, What did I do? Okay, so I want to put that in my... I accidentally drug it off, separated it into another, instead of a tab, it's another browser window. Okay, but I want to close my browser anyway so that I won't be using up space because I'm fixing this startup. Now, I know that they won't boot. Now I got 1.4 gigabytes, so I don't want to put any more on there. I want to make sure I have space, little space to spare. Go to downloads now. Okay, so now I'll have Debian 8.7, 8.8, and Debian testing, AMD 64, net install, which it might be Debian 9 or it may be Debian 8. The testing version of it, I don't know, we'll see. And then I still have my Fedoras and everything. But what I'm going to have to do on this EasytoBoot drive, get out of it. Well, let's just go back where we were. Linux. Now I'll just do that. I want to get in there, and that way I can kind of make sure that everything looks good, so I can see that file growing once in a while when I look over there. Now what I want is, I think I'll get right here in that space, and I want to open up VirtualBox and run my Windows XP VirtualBox so that I can run the EasytoBoot application. I'm making sure everything's okay over here. Okay, yeah, it looks okay. VirtualBox didn't do anything yet. I haven't started booting anything yet. Okay. So we're going to boot up Windows XP in VirtualBox. I'm probably going to have a cough drop again. And guess I'll get that out while it's booting. Got to turn everything over there. It's a brand new sack of ricotta. Bet you hadn't heard that sound in a while. I didn't know it was going to be loud like that. Trying to get into my sack of okay, so I'll do while that's kind of finishing booting up, I'll do a quick commercial here. Just kidding, but if you haven't heard of these, why am I not? I'm on the wrong camera. If you haven't heard of these, ricotta, it's a natural cough drop. You may have, they're pretty well known. But they don't have, like any drugs or anything in them, and they work really well. I like the lemon ones. I don't like I don't think they're cherry. I like cherry stuff, but I think the other ones are strawberry or something. I like to keep I'll just put them back there. Okay, so get back to my desktop. That's all opened up. Unused icons. I used to know a way to get rid of that and have it stop bugging you, but I don't know anymore. I bet it'll get some updates here pretty soon. I haven't had this on in a long time. And yeah, I have my Windows XP getting updates. It'll get updates till 2019, I think it is, because it is set as a embedded system. And you can look up on the internet on how to do that if you want to know how to do that. Definitely not some way to keep on running XP forever, like I would never surf or download anything with it. It's still going to be vulnerable, but it's definitely all those embedded systems. They got infected with. They kept saying, "Oh, it's because XP's not getting updates." Well, any sysadmin is going to have the sense to have automatic updates turned on in their XP systems. And, they're available. They're already available till 2019. The thing is that particular WannaCry and all that stuff just wasn't patched. That's the problem. It's not that there weren't updates for it. There they are. Updates are ready for your computer. Custom Advanced. I'll do Express, so I won't get it asking me 1,000 questions. I mean, I'm going to do whatever it wants anyway. And, oh, you know what? It'll probably might reboot that thing without asking me. Well, let's just hope it doesn't. So here's my little apps that I have on here that I use. A few different things. I have Avast antivirus on here too. So, but it's a full system. It's about 8 gigabytes worth of stuff on here. Last time I checked, and it runs pretty good. Because XP, you know, it ran really fantastic on 512 megabyte of memory, and I think I've got 32 megabyte video and a gig of RAM, so it runs pretty good. This is the first machine I've had that had enough power to do this well, you know, 4 gig of RAM, but you see it does work the processor. That's pretty good working right there. I did this the other day and it was okay. I was doing Linux and I did fine, so it was doing the same. About 25% of CPU, and then OBS is sticking around 22. So hopefully I'll be all right. I don't know what that was saying. It was probably talking about, it's installing the updates now, but that one there, the red one, was probably talking about Avast probably needs to be updated. It'll do it in a minute if it isn't already trying to do it right now. But Revo, what do I want? Oh yeah. This is what I need to do. Okay, I already have my 32 gigabyte SD card. It's not an app that you install. It's an app that you keep on the card. So you have to go. It's already plugged into the Linux system. So to get it to, I might have to reboot it. See, Windows XP embedded. They are not what? Were not installed. Okay, well, what do you do? I don't know. What do you do? Sometimes, I've had, you know, the last few times, I'll say Open Security Center. The last few times I had this thing running, it had some update that was hung and wasn't installing, and got all but one. It's probably that same one. I didn't want to fool with it. Okay. Automatic updates. I'll go ahead and turn on automatic updates. Okay, virus protection. It always does that, but Avast is probably, if I click on Avast, it'll probably say you're up to date and you're good. Okay, but that's on. I'm trying to get Avast. I don't want to leave it wide open, you know. I mean, some of this stuff is so insidious. I worry about it crawling the internet and getting through your firewall and finding your machine and infecting it even when you don't click on something. Or some of these applications may be, you know, vulnerable enough that just our normal communications could be intercepted. Some of these things are looking for updates and stuff, you know, that you're not even actively opening. Say, Avast is up to date. Okay. So, I don't know what really happened with the updates. I think there was just one that wasn't installed. Normally you end up having to reboot though. Hang on. I had to move my mic so I could get to my back was itching right behind my shoulder and I couldn't reach it with the mic in the way. It says it's out of date, but it's not. You click on that and it'll start telling you to download the Microsoft stuff and all that. Okay. Well, I think I'm all right with that. Now, back to what I need to do. Okay, you click on devices. And this is the part of the virtual machine. It's not part of XP. And then I want to see the one that I want to open, which is Seagate expansion drive is my big one. Of course, it's not the IntelliMouse and the keyboard I don't want, but what I want is that one there. It doesn't say 32 gigabyte, but it's a generic mass storage device. I know it's it by default because that's too loud. I think when you turn it down, you can't see it, but when you're in XP, your volume and all that works, you know, for XP, not for your main machine. It didn't show the. I think it used to work, but you know, the on-screen display OSD, see, like that there. Or maybe it was just too loud in general. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not the one from the Windows XP that does it. Maybe it's the main one. I don't remember anymore. Okay, so my device should be mounted by now. Now I like to use, I love my twin panel file managers, and actually this is the original one, Total Commander, which was originally Windows Commander, and then Microsoft sued the guy that wrote it. He had to change the name. But I paid for that during Windows 3.1 days, and I can still get updates for free after buying that software from him, from that Glister, I think it is, software. That's a good software company. Anytime they come up with an update, you just go download it if you have you paid for a license. Okay, so open up. There we go. Thank you. Okay, now I want to get to, where is it? Not the expansion drive. Where is my drive that I just mounted? That is my virtual, well, that's my downloads folder on my Linux box. So that's not what I want. CD drive, Seagate expansion drive. It's not showing up. See if I can see it in regular Windows Explorer. I don't see it. Maybe it didn't mount right. Did I have trouble with? No, I didn't have trouble with this before because That's it right there. And it took it off the hard. It unmounted it from Linux, so it should be in there. We should be seeing it, but I'm not seeing it. Not getting my folders. I think it's not responding too well. Close that for now. Sometimes we're okay with our 56 megabytes. It's all VirtualBox is using. Sometimes Total Commander won't see things that Windows Explorer can see. Sometimes I've had trouble with that not showing up like right, and then I have to take it out and put it in again and stuff. Maybe I better do that. I think I really can see to do. So I'll unmount it. It should go right back. Yeah, there it goes. It mounted back up, but I don't want it. I'm just going to take it out and put it back in. See if maybe, since I was writing to it, maybe I'm just thinking maybe that somehow interfered with XP, or maybe XP just got in a bad mood. Well, that's my Seagate expansion drive, and I don't think it would interfere. Maybe it will. Maybe next time, if that doesn't work. Okay, that's it. Then I'll unplug the Seagate, but I don't think that's got anything to do. Matter of fact, this XP can't read that Seagate drive. It's too big. Because it's 4.5 terabytes of what it shows. It's supposed to be a 5 terabyte, but it only has 4.5 terabytes when it's brand new. But I'm not getting. It shows the Seagate expansion drive. I should try to read it just to see if I can. There's my folders. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and try it. I don't think I can read it. Oh, made a liar out of me. Last time I tried to read it, I couldn't read it. Now I can. Well, you know what? I bet I can see that automatically without having to mount it or anything because I have it shared. Yeah, I think that those funny looking icon there means to have it shared. I hear thunder. We might be getting some rain. Hope it doesn't mess up my electricity in my stream. Okay, so I could go in there and try to share it. Maybe that would make it work automatically without me having to mount it and all that stuff. Either that or it's taking a while to show up in the XP machine. Sometimes that happens. Local disk. Sometimes if you click on that side, it will cause Windows Explorer to lock up. So I'm scared to do it. Downloads. This may be more of the problems I end up having all the time with file permissions fights between the Linux and Windows XP. Because right now I can write to that drive in Linux, and for a long time I couldn't, and I don't know what made it start working actually. So I'm going to do that. It's already immediately back in there. Usually I don't do it that way. Sometimes I even have trouble, but there it is. Everything looks fine. This is, see, I don't use this one. If you, in my other videos, you'll see me talking about how I don't like that kind of layout. I want it to be a list view. And see, I haven't even bothered to set it to list view because I never use it. But it's trying to find Linux. Where is it? Yeah, okay. See, it always does that. Well, if you set it to list view, it'll stay that way. Okay, so trying to think. Oh, you have to go into an app to do it. Let me see what kind of weather. Look at the weather radar right quick. See what might be happening. It's really. I may get shut down. Because what'll happen is you get a big lightning burst and maybe the lights will go off just for a millisecond, and then that makes all the computers reboot and everything reboot, including the modem. And okay, what do I want to look at? Weather. Well, I closed the wrong one. Keep wondering if I'm in the right place. Well, that's taking its good old time now. Reload it. I think I messed it all up. Opening and closing things too fast. Sometimes, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm doing the stream, but sometimes, well, the last couple of months, pages just won't. One time, they'll load one page will load perfectly normally, and another one will just do this and not want to load. It's probably all the bad hacker activity and not the good hackers like people, makers and software guys, but the bad hackers, probably them messing things up, denial of service attacks and everything else under the sun. So yeah, that's I don't know how to make that. I'm not a big weather bug, but I don't know how to even make it bigger where you can see what the heck's going on. But I can tell, of course, I can tell by hearing the lightning, but I can see there's a storm there over my general area, the whole area. See, that's Fort Worth City right there. Well, I'm out here, right under the orange and red. So look at the hourly. Maybe everybody else decided to hit this page just now. Well, I don't think so, because you can see it's not the whole world that's under a storm, just this area. 65% chance. I'd say we got a better chance than that right now. Okay, that's cool. It's one of those houses with the grass. Well, I don't know what is that? Some kind of moss, I think. Moss growing on the roof. A living roof, I think that's what the cool kids call it today. Okay, so what I want to do then, I want to try to go to network sharing and share that drive. I don't think you can't just go right click on it and share it. I don't think. I guess I should look and see. I don't know if I even have that. I know I have that app on here because I've done it to that Seagate drive, I think. Oh, you got to do it in virtual machine. This is virtual machine. I got to do it in here. I may have to shut down the machine in order to do any changes like that. Look in here and see. Shared folders. There we go. This is where I have to do it. Yeah. See Seagate drive? See if I can add one while it's running. I don't want to mess things up. There it is. I'm going to put auto mount. Make permanent. No, I don't think. Well, I'm not going to say that because maybe I don't want it to be permanent. See if that one is. Edit. Yeah, I got make permanent on that one. Well, this one's not always there all the time. It can still be made permanent though, and if it wasn't there, it just wouldn't show up. Since I use it all the time, I'm going to do that. Okay. Now I don't know if this will take effect unless I reboot. I would put it in a different area now. Let's see if it mounted it. No, don't see it. So I think I'm going to have to reboot. Oh, now it wants to install those. That'll take forever. I'll do it later. Do it later. I'll do that off video, not on video. I'll just let it shut down, and then when it gets all the way down, I will just start it back up. Wouldn't be good for the power to go off on XP and jack it up. I don't really like to have my machines running and let them get turned off, you know, or by the power going out. But it doesn't ever hurt. Hardly ever say that, and then something will happen. But it hardly ever hurts my Linux systems. It's just aggravating. It might kind of mess up, you know, if there's something file been written right there at that moment. But auto capture keyboard is on. And I figure, you know, it said there's one update that couldn't be installed, or one particular update. I figure it would just, there's one that's hung up. You can go in there and you can clean out old updates and all kinds of stuff. I think I actually did that once already and it didn't fix it. Sometimes if you just leave it alone, if you're running it every day, it would probably fix it in a matter of a few days. But while it's on its own, Windows would fix it. Oh, that scared me. I think we got a real storm. Yeah, I think I hear the rain. We have double pane windows, so it's a little harder to tell if it's raining and stuff in here. But it's nice because you don't have as much noise, except for when it's like this. You can hear that. Yeah, the old moon over the mountain background. I used to switch them all the time. You know, just like I do on my Linux system, I used to have them automatically switching. And I don't know, I guess I had found an automatic switching desktop switcher for XP. I can't remember now. I'm sure I know if there was one I was using it, but if it could handle it, that is. It's taking its time getting finished booting up, though. Look at it. It's no, that's the way it was. I was going to say it looks like it's fitting the window better, but no, it's just, I think it just looks bigger because it doesn't have its toolbar yet. There it is. Okay, now, Give it a little time there. You got to let everything finish. You can't start opening things up when it's not done loading yet. So updates are ready again. This time I'll just let it do it on its own because I got automatic updates turned on. I thought I had them turned on, but it was off. So maybe it'll go ahead and fix it. Now, do I have my... There it is, 32 gigabyte. Okay, now, you get in here. I think it's right here on the root of that drive. Yeah. Make this drive contiguous. CMD and... Yeah. And that's how you would make one. You'd run that to make your... I can't remember. I think you just... I don't remember. It's really a long, drawn out, very complicated process to build this thing. So I'm a little worried about getting that started. It takes a little while, and then if anything happens, it messes things up. Dang it. Yeah, if I even got that one brief moment of the power going out, it could mess up this making things contiguous. And I don't know what it would do to that drive. It's a lot more picky in Windows XP especially than... it's not Linux. I mean, if I was doing something like this in Linux, it might mess something up too, on that drive. Because it's doing sort of like defrag. It's sort of like defrag. Let's see, what is it? I guess it basically is. It's not exactly regular XP defrag, I don't think, but this is actually a FAT32 anyway drive, I think. But yeah, it is. But it's that kind of thing. So if it got interrupted, it might really make it wouldn't boot anymore and jack everything up. What the problem is right now is when I copy those files over and I try to boot to them, it says their reporting size is different from what they really are or something. And when you run this make files contiguous, then it fixes that. So I'm a little bit, now I'm really, as much as I want to keep going and get this done, I'm a little bit leery of doing it. I probably should use a little good sense and go by past experience and not get that started right now. Dang it. Okay, so that's what I was going to do, and you can just double click on it or right click and say run. I think you just double click on it, but I'm not going to do it now because now I'm a little concerned. You just really got sure enough thunderstorm going now. So 9:10. Well, that's what I'm going to have to do next. And of course, I don't really have to. It takes, sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's even 10 or 15 minutes, so I can actually do that off camera. I just thought I might show what I'm always talking about this. I've actually done videos on this before. I think I have them when I was using GTK Record my desktop, and it records in OGV files, and I still haven't. I didn't realize it. I've got about, I think I have 200 of them or something. Maybe it's 100 that I need to convert to MP4 or something so I can upload them to YouTube. YouTube, I swear, used to take OGVs, and now they don't. So see what that system looks like. That's all okay. I'm gonna go check that weather one more time. Now it'll quit the instant that I think I'm worried to work. Then the whole thing will just be gone. The whole storm will be gone. So anyway, I could run that, make files contiguous, not on the videos. What I was trying to say. Okay. Sometimes these storms move so fast. They don't sit here for 10 minutes. And of course, sometimes there are tornadoes in them and everything. We've been really blessed. We haven't had one close to us. We've had them within about 45 miles of us this year. Some really bad ones, but we didn't get them. Yeah, it's already looks like. No, doesn't look like it's moving any. I can't tell. Let's see, can I zoom in on that or something? I don't guess you can do that on this site. I like this site overall, but I have seen other sites, ones that I don't go to that often, that have all different kinds of views of the radar and all that stuff. normally I just kind of get the general overview, and that's all. I mean, you don't know until it happens anyway. That's all I look at, is just a general forecast. The way it sounds right now, it sounds like it's moving on, but to me, but that is a long line of thunderstorms right there, and that's may take a while to go on by. Almost like I zoomed in from my clicking and stuff. Tried to click on the hourly, and it didn't ever take. Guess I'm trying to do too much on this little machine here. Yep, see, the OBS came back, and Firefox was using a bunch of CPU. That's what it was. I shouldn't even have opened it up, since I've already got VirtualBox running. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to use my better judgment and not do that. And I'm not going to try to install those updates while the thunderstorm's going either. That's another thing that'll break things, is if updates get interrupted. So, as much as I hate to do it, I'm going to shut him down. And I'm going to say, shut it down without it again, and just turn that off. And wait till probably tomorrow, I imagine, because it's already almost 9:14 anyway. So I could put that in the laptop and boot to it, but the only one that'll boot is Debian. That's the thing, is, well, let's just see what happens. Let's put it in there and see if any of these things will boot before I completely give up. Now see, it put it right back in here like it should be. So I'm going to hit eject. Now I'm going to go put this into the laptop. Now, I'm going to see, we'll just show the close-up on the laptop, and we'll boot it up. Oh, we'll have to reboot it. Okay, so I will close the browser. Stream's still good. The storm hasn't interrupted our internet or anything. Mounted that up, so we know it got it in there right. Restart. Okay, so now you can see me. So we'll oh, I need to switch over to that machine. That way, if I have my KVM switch on it, I can use my regular mouse and keyboard instead of having to get that. I mean, I have the wireless one all turned on and plugged in, but I can't reach it with the mic where it is. I can put it down on my keyboard tray, but I like my other one better anyway. Only thing is, when I do that, now I can't see. That's okay. I know I was on the. I can't see that everything's okay. I can't see my preview, but that's okay. Okay. I want Linux. Can barely see it. Oh, yeah. Well, once I start booting, it should come up on my monitor. That's what's missing. I knew something was weird. Okay, let me get myself over that way where I can read it. Yeah, I'm going to try the AMD 64 Debian Live and see if that'll boot up. And you can just wait, and that'll go ahead and go through. See, there's that arrow. It's smaller than the ISO contig. See, ISO contig ISO is smaller than the ISO Linux Debian. Oh, I see. So it must make a file. The ISO make files contiguous makes an ISO config.iso file, and it just says it's smaller. I don't remember all the details, but So it cannot copy it. Tip replace config ISO with a larger file, any content. So if you hit enter, it'll try to do it, but it won't work. I've tried this before, and it'll try to boot, but it'll just hang up. Press any key to boot. So yeah, I'm going to have to run make files contiguous. That's what I need to do. If I wanted to boot into the regular 32-bit, it would boot up and run just fine. And everything looks fine at first, and then it gets on. No errors that I see. It goes by so fast you wouldn't kind of miss them all. But once it gets going down in here, then in this part, then it'll just stop, and you'll see all kinds of errors. Now watch it boot right up. But see, there's. Oh, I think it is going to boot right up. It can do something to correct that, to make it. Oh, it worked first time. Those other ones wouldn't boot. So something that EasytoBoot did to make it easy to boot this time, it went ahead and worked. So that's what we got. Okay, this is 64-bit. Of course, I've ran the 32-bit and did videos on it. This only difference is this is 64-bit. LibreOffice. Oh yeah, it was the XFCE that didn't have LibreOffice. Yeah, Part14. And now the laptop wouldn't go down if everything went down. It'd just be my desktop and my stream would go down. So if my stream quits, you'll know why. Because of the storm. It knocked out my electricity. But I'll still got my laptop. I won't be stranded. But I won't have the internet. So what'll I do then? There's things you can do on computers without the internet. Believe it or not. Yeah, the 1.19 gigabyte encrypted. Let's see. I don't think you can even. I don't think Debian. Let's just try it right now while I'm thinking about it. I don't think. Well, there it goes. It's asking for the password. Maybe the newer Debians can mount. Remember password till you log out. I guess the newer. No, it says unable to. Does not have recognized file system on it. Yeah, it's because it's an LV. It's the LVM, and the Debian can't mount LVMs. It tried, but it can't do it. I thought it wouldn't even try if it couldn't do it. So if you want to mount your Fedora, your encrypted Fedora system, you're going to have to boot it to Fedora. If you want to do it to if it breaks and you need to recover files or something. But I did it the other day, and it did the same thing, asked for a password, and it mounted it up just fine. So here's the control apps and everything, the preferences apps. And the other day, I had to install KRFB and Vino, and then I was able to do remote desktop into the live Debian system too. That worked. And that's what made me think, okay, I know I can get it. I just should. I didn't know it could, but I thought I really should be able to get it to work in Fedora, and I never could get it to work. So I'm not sure. Bringing it into my mic. I don't think there's really much to see. There's the install icon. Yeah, this is Jesse. Okay, that's not the one that I thought might be Debian 9. No, it's that other one that's an installer. Let's see if that installer will boot. I might not even. I don't know. It seems like I still need to run that make files contiguous, but then I'm afraid I'll be to where I can't write to it anymore like I was before. But it definitely, that's the same. I can tell that means I need to run that. It's not working exactly like it should. I didn't get those errors until I started adding files. But the strange thing is, sometimes you do need to run that make files contiguous, and sometimes you don't when you add files. And I can't remember all the details. Okay, Debian testing. I want to see. I want to see if it will run. Well, there's the graphic install, but it's all going to be installed. But I want to know. I don't want to look in the advanced options, but I want to just go into graphic install. And let's see what version, if it'll tell us what. Well, if it says Jesse, then we'll know it's Debian 8. I don't know if it tells you the name at the beginning. I don't remember. I think this will come up. It's Debian 9. Okay, there we go. So, and you sure have to be like a sleuth. You got to be Inspector Clouseau to figure out which one is Debian 9 or which one's Debian 8. Why don't they just put that on there just like everybody else does? Okay, so I'm just going to click on next. So I'm not going to really do it. I probably am going to install Debian on here, but I don't think. Guess I could do 9. But I'm afraid I would just. No, I don't want to do that because I figure this is an older machine and I figure it'll be more likely to support the older hardware in Debian 8 than it will in 9 because I do know that Debian 9 has dropped support for i586 and back machines. Now this one is a 686. I know that, this laptop. And so it would work. I mean, it's working. It's running on it. It probably would have already told us if it couldn't run on it. Would have said you don't have the right architecture. Usually, most Linux distros will tell you that right at the beginning. So I'm just fiddling. I'm not going to really finish it. I just want to see what it looked like. I saw a guy, well, he already had it up and running in VirtualBox. Now, you could do that. You could install it in VirtualBox. And that's where I might as well stop. That's where it says if you have any proprietary drivers you need, put your USB stick or floppy drive in there and all that. And it's hard to get out of this. There's not like an exit or anything. And hitting escape doesn't do it. Alt tab doesn't do it, or control tab doesn't get you out of the screen. So you just have to hold the button down. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn it back on one more time. And, well, everything's booting, so I don't know if I want to run that make files contiguous now or not. I'm scared I won't be able to write to it anymore like before. I was stuck and I couldn't write anything to it. And then one day I picked it up and forgot that I was having trouble, picked it up, and it wrote like a charm. So I don't know what changed. I kept fighting with it, trying to change. Used root privileges and the Crusader, trying to change the file permissions on it. I did it the trick I had learned, and it used to always work, is share the whole drive or all the folders that you can in Windows XP. Share it, like on the network, share it, because that's the only way you can easily change file permissions in XP that I know of. And I would share it with everybody, the world, and then it would be fine to write in Linux. But then it quit working one day. Actually, you know what? And now I remember. You know, earlier when I had that, I was starting to put that SD card in that other adapter, and I saw the tape on it. I said, oh, yeah, that one was going bad. That was my problem. It wasn't the file permission problem at all. I just thought it was. That was the problem. It turned out to be that adapter. So the problem went away when I put it in this other adapter. So that other adapter is bad. It's gone bad, or it just doesn't. It might work on the actual brand that it's made to work with. It may be that SD card is so loose and was moving around in there, and it wasn't getting contact all the time. Yeah, okay. Memory slowly but surely, randomly coming back. It sucks when you get old. It's more than that. I've had that kind of trouble for years. It's part of I won't go. It's part of my health. But anyway, I won't go into all that. But that's what it is. Okay. Domain. Okay, I just keep thinking I want to show DRBL for some goofy reason. It runs on Debian too, and it should boot because I wrote it a long time ago. There it is. And I'm just going to go with the default. Let's see. What is the other? Let's see what the other modes are. Make sure I'm getting the right one for this machine. Okay, default to RAM. Safe graphics settings. Oh, to RAM. And you can remove the media. Oh, yeah, I just remembered this will fight with my network. It might even mess up my Could possibly cause trouble. Oh, this is on a different router though. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to take any chance of jacking up my network streams and all that stuff. Because it's what it does is it's a server. It's not just a server, but it's a router, and it will send out IP addresses for the other machines to boot to it, and so you need to put it on. I have another old router that I don't really use anymore, but I can plug it into it and turn off the IP address server. I can't think of the right name for it. But turn that part off on that one. It's an old Netgear, my very first router I ever had, and it's not wireless Wi-Fi or anything, just a wired router. And turn that off, and then let this one be the IP server. And what do you call that? Probably won't remember it right now. So hit Control-Alt-Delete. That's another way to reboot. Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to do it, but it's cool. Nothing really to see. I mean, it's just a little domain system. You can actually boot to other ones, though, not just, there's one that's built into it, but then you can boot to pretty much any one you can learn how to configure. You have to learn how to configure it. I could probably tell it to boot to one of these other ISOs that's on this SD card. I know it can do Fedora. It can do DSL Linux, which is really small. If you're going to do that, you want to do really small distros, unless you're got monster machines. I mean, like, if you're going to run a full, like a Fedora Linux, then you would definitely need at least the quad core with 4 gig of RAM. That'd be like the least you would need, to actually really be able to use it well, over the network. And the bigger the operating system, the more data has to be transferred over the network. So, with 100 gigabit, you're going to slow down pretty quick. So you want to use like the lightweight, like Debian or DSL or Puppy Linux. That was the other one that you can. There's pre-configured on there that you can use. But I guess I won't have to make files contiguous unless I have more trouble. So I had, like I said, I had Fedora Jam on there, and they wouldn't boot. Maybe they would if I'd have waited long enough. I wasn't 100% sure they were hung up. Sometimes you get some errors in the middle of your boot, and then on a live boot into a live ISO like that, and sometimes it'll go on and get on by it and figure it out and do it. But and see, I also have Windows boot menu. What do I have in there? What's in the utilities? I don't think I have. Do I have anything in there? Can't see it well enough to really tell. I can't really see it. I have to move over there. There it is. Back to main menu. Actually, you can hit F10. Okay, yeah, there's some utilities in there. Some grub utilities and stuff. Uh-oh. I didn't lose power. It just shut the machine down instead of going back. I must have saw the wrong one. I hit F10 and it shut it down. I should have just, I was right on it. I should have just hit enter. But, yeah, this EasytoBoot's really cool. The only thing I wish is that you could install straight from it. Then it'd be really great. Oh, there's another one that I think I may have on there. I thought I had it on here. Let's see. I forget what it's called. No, I think I have it on one of my USB sticks. It's not big at all. It's really small. But and it's something, I can't remember what it's called, something with a D in it, but you can boot up to a server and install a bunch of different Linux distros, and I actually did use it to install Debian once already on something. Oh, on my Dell 600 laptop, and it worked great. Let's see. Oh, I'm in the, okay, so if I want to F10, yeah, power off. See, my eyes see things on the wrong line. Reboot is F9. Back to main menu is F8. And boot first HDD. Okay, so but I'm on the right one. Back to main menu. I can see that red better than anything. I think there's a couple of DOS apps in there. And Windows boot menu, I think I have just, I don't have anything in there. Oh, Hiren's boot CD. I have Hiren's boot CD in there. And then in my Windows install menu, I was getting ready to redo. I had 3 Windows machines that were dual boots. This laptop, my Lenovo i5, and the ASRock. ASRock has Windows 7 on it, and the other 2 had dual boot 7 and Linux. And I ended somehow, I don't know what I hit, but I hit something that got viruses in it. Must have crawled the network and got all 3 of them. And so I scanned that ASRock 10 times because I really wanted to save it. It's the only one I cared about. And then I finally got it after 10 different rescue, Linux systems, and some that were like not Linux based, like Windows. They were like NT based or something. Finally got it to come back with no reports of bad stuff, and then I thought, well, I still don't trust it. And I want to reformat. I don't want to get rid of the master boot record. I want to clean it all, so I reformatted it and put. It had 32-bit Windows 7. I put 64-bit on a 30 gig hard drive, and then it filled it. Then Windows filled it up in no time with all the junk it downloads. So it's like a 1.4 gig the other day. So I gotta get another hard drive to put in there and do it again. Well, there's another one in there that's full, and now that I have my big backup drive, I can just back all that stuff up and then reformat that bigger drive. It's a 250 gigabyte. But I have a bunch of my phone videos on it. And I don't even need. I can take that 30 gig drive out altogether, use it for some other fun stuff. But okay, so yeah, install Windows 7. There it is, 4. So I've got. See what I got. Oh, so I've got Professional 32 and 64 and Home Premium 32 and 64. And, these are the ones that I have licenses for. And where's it back to Windows install menu? Okay, so, and that's all I have in the way of Windows in there. And I don't know if I've actually used it yet, but it's supposed to work. But you also have to have, in order to make the Windows installs work, you have to have another USB stick with one little file on it that's a boot helping file, or else it won't work right. And so, in Linux, well, you just saw it'll boot up without it. But if you try to boot, I tried it and I forgot once or twice, but also just anyway, you try to boot to one of those Windows 7 ISOs without that little helper file, and well, actually, I didn't forget it. There's just different ways of writing and building your EasytoBoot, and I thought I had built it to where I didn't need that, but it didn't work. So then I read some more on their site, and I put that little helper file on another USB stick, and then it worked, and it looked like it would install, but I don't think I ever did. Yes, I did. That's how I put it on. Yeah, that's how I put it on the S. Or did I just put the DVD in the drive? I might have just put the DVD in its drive. But the laptop, you can't do that because the drive is too slow and it won't work that way. But now it doesn't matter. I went through all that work and now I decided, you know what? I just want all the space on the Dell 1525 laptop. I want that 120 gig, every inch I can get of it, every megabyte I can get out of it. And my Lenovo i5, I don't need Windows on it either. I never want to reboot. I don't really ever want to reboot and get into the other operating system. And what I finally realized is, well, if I just leave that one ASRock with Windows 7 and I just, when I need Windows, I boot it up and control it with VNC Remote Desktop or TeamViewer, whichever one. And it's great that way. And I only need one. I don't need to, I never want to get out of the one. I always like to work in Linux. And then if I'm in the Windows 7 system, then I need something out of Linux, but I'm not in it. I have to reboot, and then it's just it seemed like the greatest thing ever years ago when I learned how to do it. But now I've realized over the years, dual boot machines are not too practical. So unless you've only got one machine, then that's fine, But well, the storm seems to have gone away, but I'm also getting tired. I don't need to run that. I don't think I need to run the make files contiguous though. That error that I kept getting. Let's see. It went past it and booted up this time. I have some antivirus rescue stuff on here, which I had used. Got Bitdefender. I don't know if I had this built up when I was doing all my scanning. Yeah, I think I did. Bitdefender, F-Secure, VBA Rescue. So, you know, it's really cool to have something like that with that many different tools on it. And it's so little. I mean, that's even smaller than a regular USB stick, and you can carry that with you and go help. Go, like if you want to go help people or something, go work on somebody's computer. You stick that in your. Try not to lose it. It's so little, you know. I mean, I have a laptop bag, and I would carry. Sometimes I would carry my laptop and a bunch of CDs and DVDs and everything, rescue CDs and DVDs. And now all I need is that, and probably still might want your laptop, because if the machine that got's infected, you may need the other one to get online and look stuff up or something. But anyway, let's go back to Linux again one more time before I get out of here. Let's see if I'm pretty sure the only other thing I know. Oh, I did. Okay, here's what doesn't work. That's what I need to try. The 26. Yeah, I want to try 64-bit Fedora 26 and see if it'll boot, because these are the ones that I think they'll get that same error. Press enter. Okay, warning. This may not work on NTFS C2B drives. Use FAT32. Well, I am using a FAT32. Volume label does not match the file name. This will not work if the ISO volume label contains spaces. The volume label? I don't know what volume label. Fedora does that. I don't know what's on there. Okay, press any key to boot. I don't know what the volume label of the ISO is. And so at first we'll just let it run through and we'll see what happens. Yeah, these are the ones that make me have to run that, make files contiguous. Oh, I can see, I just realized I can look at the phone. I'm looking at the back of the phone. I can see what's in the screen there. Of course, that doesn't mean that's what's being showed. As long as, if I hadn't switched to the right, if I had forgot, you know, and I was like on my desktop of my Linux machine instead of the camera, then I wouldn't know that by looking at the phone. There is actually an OBS app to switch from a phone, put it on a phone, and I've got it on one of my phones, but it only works with Windows OBS server, not Linux. Can you believe that? So I haven't got to try it. I put it on there, and I thought I want to try just to see if I could figure out how to make it work, because all it seemed to be is just, well, I think there was a new, not quite finished version for Linux or something. I don't remember now. Or plug-in. I think I saw a plug-in that I may have tried adding to my OBS Studio, but anyway, it won't connect to my machine. Okay, what is it saying? So far I just see, let me go look. Yeah. Device not accepting address 5, and it keeps saying that every other line. Device not accepting address 6, and it just sits there, and I've sat here for about at least 5 minutes several times, and I don't think it'll go any further. If it does, it'll be 20 minutes later, and it'll finally say, oh, well, we kept trying, but we gave up because it wouldn't work. So I'm going to have to run that. So I'll boot it back up into my regular system. And let's see. Let me switch. Whoops. I'll go ahead and leave it like that until it gets booted up so that I'll have my monitor working. And I'll put my, in the meantime, I'm going to put my SD card back in my, well, I'll wait till I can see that it mounts good, so I can see what I'm doing. But get this booted up and get logged into this. Yeah, because that's pretty quick. Storm seems to have moved on away. The thunder's in the distance. But you know what's funny? It seems like every time we have a storm, it's like an hour, 30 minutes to an hour after the storm, and our power goes out, or at least just blinks out. And on a sunny, bright day that's not super hot, just a nice day, 85 degrees or something, the power will just blink out and mess everything up. Sometimes, as a matter of fact, in this last month, it went down twice for like an hour, 2 hours on beautiful days. So what the heck's up with all that? So as soon as this comes in, yeah, this encrypted drive business is just really aggravating pain in the butt. You'd really be glad if you got saved from something, but it sure isn't fun to mess with. Sitting there waiting on everything to do its stuff and having to type this, having to log in twice with all these different passwords makes it even more confusing when you've got, you're sitting here with 5, 6 computers you're trying to remember the passwords for. I know, it's tough. It's just so tough. They're all old. Not a single one of them are new and fancy, hot and fast. But I came by them honest. They were given to me, but they were given to me in return for work I did for people. Mostly the same guy. Almost all of them, except for some of the really old ones I have in the garage. What was I not in the cursor? It's not doing anything. Did I do something? Or okay, let's see what happens if you. Yeah, okay, let's see. Look at there. No, didn't make it come back. Oh, now it's ready. Wasn't really paying attention to my screen. I guess it never worked from the start. See, something hangs up, and if you'll click on, I don't know if you could click on anything up there maybe, but I just happened to click on the mate. Select your desktop, which I only have one, so you can't change it. And then it makes it work. And if you just sit there and waited, I sat there like 5 minutes and it didn't do nothing. So that's weird and aggravating. So that's bad enough right there to make me want to try a different operating system. Fedora 25 64-bit on this machine does not make me happy. And not just because I can't VNC into it. I tried again today. I couldn't resist. I tried for an hour or two. I installed I thought, okay, what if I install all the apps that I have on my Fedora 23 system, because I know it works on there, and I installed them all. Filled around with all kinds of, running commands and doing this and that. Trying to guesswork, and finally had to give up again. But at least I didn't make another dumb video with that. Let's see. I'm trying to get to my... my YouTube. I guess I should look in the history. I might find my... Okay, I'm still live. Let's see. If I go to my channel, well, let's look in the history. Dashboard, there we go. That's where I'm trying to go. That's one click instead of 5. Okay. And it keeps doing that every time. I know I don't want to save that password. It wants to save the password to my live stream. And it's already in there, and it's already, well, actually, yeah, I think it's already in there. Anyway, okay, we're live. We're in good health still. Yeah, it's good health. It's green. If you get the green, then you're good. Okay, now let me get back. Uh-oh, I got on my right machine, but it didn't. You can kind of tell if you don't hear a little click when you click change your scene, it's not going to work. Okay, so I'm back on my Fedora 23, and I'm going to get in VirtualBox. I'm going to have to run make files contiguous. Let's go ahead and let's go and plug this in first. That way when I boot up my Windows XP virtual machine, okay, that's mounted. when I then I will just leave it all like it is. It'll automatically mount that USB stick. It's not really, I always call it, well, I've always, everybody calls them USB sticks, and I always call that, and then I remember, oh yeah, it's really, I don't know, I need to remember that for myself. It probably doesn't matter that much, but it's really an SD card and a USB adapter, and it does behave differently than a regular USB stick, so you have to remember that you're working with an SD card. Not completely, I mean, it's really only certain operations that you're trying to do when you're trying to write to it and stuff. And when you're trying to write to it, like if I was going to build, don't even know if it would work right if I tried to build, a Unet Bootin or a Fedora Media Writer bootable media on there. I'm not sure that it would work right. They might they may figure it out on their own and work, but they may not. I remember I had some trouble because I was just treating it like a regular USB stick, and I had some troubles. But now that ever since I put in that EasytoBoot on there, I haven't reformatted it or anything. Because it's big enough that I thought, well, I want to be able to put make it multi-boot and put a bunch of ISOs on there. There's other ones I've used, Yummy, and I don't know, several. Can't think of the names right now. But, each one has their positive and negatives. Actually, as hard as it was to set up EasytoBoot, it is easy to boot, and other than kind of remembering when do you have to go back and run this make files contiguous and stuff. It actually boots with a wider variety of ISOs like Windows and Linux than anything I've really ever used. Or in Prep USB right there. That one's a pretty good one, but it's a little hard to use too. And you have to use it on Windows. That's another reason why I didn't use it all the time. But I'm in a hurry. But I got to wait for this to be ready. The storm's gone, so we'll be all right. Now I'm not afraid to start that operation. And I do need to do it. I've figured out that I need to do it. So, yeah, I can't resist putting some apps that I like on these things, even though I've never opened that. I don't think I've ever used that ISO Workshop. I still will download. I haven't even been using Windows. Been using Linux since 2005, every day, all day. I use Windows more as a toy than anything, or for something like this that I can't do with Linux. And I still download Windows apps that I read about. There's one I wanted to try. I think that's another one. That's just lately. I've got hundreds of apps that I've never tried, I think. I never get around to it. I never really want to fool around with them that much. As soon as I get on a Windows machine I'll start getting aggravated with it, because I'll start having trouble that I don't normally have with Windows. And that's the other reason, ECU Flash and OBD apps and stuff, that's the only reason I have a Windows XP on my Dell 6000 laptop. It's original OS plus Debian 8, I think. And that's the only reason I still have XP on it is for OBD apps. Automotive, SCAN bus. Okay, there it is. Yeah, mounted it right up. Okay, so make this drive contiguous. Yes, that's the one I want. There's a couple others that you can run, but that's not the ones I need. Update drive. You don't need to run that. Okay, there it is. Publisher can't verify. I am on my desktop. Okay. Make sure I'm broadcasting what I think I am, but that, of course, that's fine. XP has always done that on apps that didn't have the right little file inside of it. Okay. I don't think it's already done. Should come up with a window and tell you that it's running. It opened up a little terminal window there to start the app, but maybe I need to minimize it. Make it small enough that I can tell if there's something else. It may just be taking its time to come up on there. believe you do run it from this. I think you run it from this same. You don't have to run it like from, put that over on the hard drive or something to do that, do you? It's been a while since I've done it. I'm going to wait a minute and see if it's going to come up in a minute. I remember, yeah, it comes up with a graphic window and you can watch its progress. I think you have to have it on the drive that you run it on. I think that's how it works. Right, click on it and make sure it's, well, it executed, so I don't want to do it again. I'm going to look at the properties and make sure it's executable and all that. Doesn't have any weird. Oh, this is not Linux, so it's not quite as easy to do that, is it? Okay. Well, I didn't even really try to read. They went away so fast. I didn't really try to read that command line that came up. It had something in it. Look at that README text. That may tell me. To make a multi-boot USB drive, right-click on Make Drive, which I don't want to do that. That's already done. Run as admin. Maybe that's what I need to do. Or make USB drive, README text. So maybe I need to be doing that as admin. So I kept thinking I needed to right-click on it. Can you say run as admin from here? May have to. I went blank on how to run things as administrator in XP. I haven't used it in a while. I think in 7 you just right click on it and say run as administrator. Click on it again. Okay. Do you want to run it? Yes. Unless that's all it's taking because it's already done, because there's only a little bit to do, but I don't remember it ever being that fast. Let's see. You don't open up Windows Explorer as administrator. I know that. All I can think of is all the ways I do things in Linux. Okay, let me open it up Total Commander to see if there's any other options in there that might spring my interest here. There it is. So, okay. Run. Yeah, it says run as admin. Oh, it does not make files contiguous though. Whoops. Just double click on it. Okay, all it does is the same thing. Run. Huh. I may have to go to their website and read up on what to do. Let's see. I don't think that's going to help being in there. Maybe if I get in regular, I think that was, okay, now, folders. My computer, yes, I wasn't even seeing my computer. I think you might have a little more options in regular Windows Explorer than you are when you go to it through my computer. Let's see. Nope, I don't see anything. Only hidden compatibility. Oh yeah, is a 95. I don't see anything that says run as administrator. So I'm going to click on it in here. Let's see. Run. If I would try to. I can almost read. I can't read the whole line before it goes away. I'll have to go to the website, and I really need to take a break. Now it's 10 o'clock almost. I'm just going to wait till tomorrow. Sorry. I don't know what the heck is going on. I'll just have to go look it up and read on their website. I've done it a bunch of times too, so I don't know why I'm having trouble. Maybe I'm just too tired. So I'm going to shut the XP down. I think this time I'll just let it try to update. Oh, I should have went ahead and took. Oh no, it already. Okay, let go of that drive. I didn't want to leave that drive in there. But yeah, 1 of 16 is installing. So I'm going to take this out right now while I'm thinking about it. Otherwise, I'll have my main machine booting to EasytoBoot. I'll go, what? I did that on the laptop on accident today once. You know, it wasn't a big deal, but I just forgot I had it in there. Yeah. So I'll let those see how many of those updates can install and stuff. Let's see. I told you XP would update. Isn't that cool? All right. Well, I'm not gonna make you sit here and watch me. As exciting as that is, I'm not gonna let you sit here and watch that. I'm just gonna go now. Do not turn your computer off. You haven't seen that in a while, have you? Thought you'd never see it again. Windows XP getting updates. It ain't over till it's over. All right. It's done. I'll come back later and figure all this stuff out. All right. Bye-bye.